All right. Welcome back to the Fit 40 podcast, where we simplify exercise and nutrition for busy parents 40 plus so they can improve their health and feel amazing. I'm your host, Brian Fitzsimmons, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach for people over 40 since 2015. And today we have an awesome guest with us. We have Shane McClean back in the house for part two. If you didn't catch part one, he is the author of Get Back in the Saddle. He's written for a handful of places like Muscle and Fitness, Bar Bend, Garage Gym Reviews, PTDC, Tony Gentlecore's website. I could go on, but I'll cut myself off there. Okay. He's known as Outback Performance and the creator of Aging Disgracefully Strength System. And he's an expert when it comes to helping people who are busy over 40 build consistent fitness skills to improve their health and confidence. So Shane, welcome to the show.
Brian, I was going to ask you, how like in Saturday Night Live, they have the 5-timers jacket. They walk in and they go, "Oh, I'm a 5-timer." Does the Fit 40 podcast have a 2-timers jacket?
I'm going to have to make one. I'm going to have to make one.
I'll come and get a fitting. Okay.
I mean, right now it's funny you say that. I have monthly challenges with my clients and I have some keychains that they earn. I'll get you like a 2-timer keychain and then 5 times will be the jacket.
Yeah. Yeah. Because how many guests have you had on twice?
I could probably count on one hand between, I think it's you, Sam Ferget. Those are the 2 off the top of my head. There's definitely more. I got James Brennan coming back, and yeah, those are off the top of my head. So you're in rare air here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think you got to get a jacket happening for us,
mate. Yep, 100%, 100%.
Even that hoodie or something like even that t-shirt or hoodie. Yeah, even something like that.
Yeah, we'll get you a t-shirt.
Okay, I can riff that around here in South Texas, mate.
There we go. Now, especially the black shirt down in South Texas, that'll go so well.
Yeah, I'll be good, mate.
I actually did a jersey swap with a guy, Kyle Fasano, out in Burbank, and I'm like, why don't fitness professionals do this more often? Like, we should jersey swap like the soccer players do at the end. Like, just throw a t-shirt each other's way.
I like that idea.
Yeah. I actually, speaking of that, I have one from Brian Dowie. If anybody caught that episode, he's out in Hong Kong and we made it happen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
awesome.
We just got to make that a trend. That's going to be a trend going forward.
Yeah. Great.
Now, I actually, for everybody listening right now, I had to like cut us off in the beginning because we were talking about some really good stuff. And I'm like, okay, we got to hit the record button. Like, we can't miss out on this. So to rehash a little bit of what we were talking about, like basically we were talking about the fact that we all kind of have to go through, or even like fitness and nutrition professionals have all kind of gone through that point where we put our fitness and nutrition on the back burner and we just like treat our bodies kind of like shit. And then we bounce back. So I'd like to pick that back up. Like, I know you said that like for you, your thing was like drinking, right? Like where it turned into like a daily event.
Not so much a daily event.
Okay. Like long day type deal.
I wouldn't drink on days that I exercised, but I would drink on my off days. And because I did that, I thought it was okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, actually, now that you say that, I did that in college for sure, where I'm like, hey, it's not a workout day. I'm not hurting myself, right? Like, let's just have one.
Yeah. So it was more like that. And I think, emotional eating is big in this space, right? In our space. And it's the same with probably drinking, right? We use food and drink as a crutch. Right? It's like, oh, I have a bad day. I'm just going to eat a pint of ice cream. That's going to make me feel better. And it usually doesn't, right? You think it does, but it usually doesn't. And then you feel crap afterwards, but then you go back to the same well over and over again, right? And it really just takes us a while to learn what is good and bad for our bodies, right? But I think to learn that, you go through phases like we spoke about before we came on air, that you got to treat your body like an asshole, right? You don't do it deliberately. You don't think, oh yeah, I'm going to wake up today and just eat like, drink like shit. It's just part of your life.
Yeah.
And so I think perspective is a great leveler. So when we can look back and go, well, oh yeah, I went through that to get to that. And I think when clients and people realize that you don't always have to be perfect. You don't. I mean, we all go through periods where we are not consistent. Even the finest fitness professionals are, right? And I don't mean to beat up on social media, but it gives a lot of people an unrealistic expectation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of how to maintain, how to get healthy, how to maintain the physique. Because these
It's
people
all
look like they're,
highlights.
yeah, 24/7 ripped all the time, right? And it's just not reality,
Yeah.
right?
Or
And
the parent talk. Like I didn't know that was a thing until I see these parents posting these people that are saying ridiculous stuff and they act like they're the world's best parent, but it's like the furthest thing from the truth. So it's like in multiple different aspects.
yeah, sorry, my cat's trying to break down the door. You
Oh, no
excuse me.
worries. Mine will be added in 2 seconds now that you said that.
Yeah, but no, you're right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. And we are by nature our own worst enemies, and hard us on really just hard on ourselves, right? So no matter how hard a coach is on you, or how hard your partner is on you, or whatever, right? You're never as hard as that on. You're always as hard as that on yourself. And that's where the emotional eating and drinking and all that stuff kind of comes into to all of that, right? And like we said before, it's okay to go through those phases, right? I mean, it's because we learn from them and then we come out the other side. Um, but I think the trick is knowing what is happening and why you're doing it and when to stop. Um, so yeah, with me, it was just my energy levels. I mean, they were constantly tanked, right? And when we're trainers and fitness professionals, we're out on the floor, and we're training clients and putting on a show, so to speak. But energy level is crap, it shows, right? And
Oh, you
then,
know immediately. And you can feel it in yourself too. You're like, man, I am not showing up for these people today.
yeah, and that's the way we earn money, right? That's the way we earn a living. So when it starts to affect that, you realize, so with the with your particularly with your client base, it's basically just energy to keep up with their children, right? And whether they're waking up in the morning and they're bouncing out of bed, or they're waking up in the morning and drag their ass to the coffee pot and having a donut, right?
Yeah.
They start to think, well, I'm just really sick of that, right? I'm really sick of that. For us, it's money and clients, but for our clients, it's like basically energy just to have a better quality of life.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that because lately I've been getting like, it's awesome, but I've been getting a lot of grandparents and very much the same way where it's like they want to be around for the grandkids and they're noticing like the further you get along in age, you feel the hit of how crappy feels to a bigger amplification than like a 20-year-old dealing with a hangover.
Right? I just, I think the older you get, particularly, I mean, there's nothing magical about the number 40, right? But the older you get, the better you have to be with your health, because you cannot get away with as much as we get older, right? You have to dial everything in more, because we all scarf the pizzas and drink beer when we're 19, 20, bounce back and go bench 250 pounds. We could do that, right? That was no problem. But 15, 16 years down the track, that is just not happening. We just have to do it better.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I know when we were talking like this whole like shitty to good transition, it's kind of powerful because we were talking about like the mental side of it. And it's kind of like when we're talking about fitness and nutrition, you get both ends of the spectrum of running away from pain and running towards pleasure, which is really the reason that we do the things that we do. And it's like you're running away from feeling shitty, but at the same time, you feel good doing it. So you're like, I want more of this. And it's a beautiful cycle to get into, but you got to get from that place of like, if my body's a temple, it's a little bit dirty right now. Like I got to mop the floors. I got to like redo some of the shingles and make it look a little bit pretty because it's been put on the back burner for a little bit.
That's a great analogy. right? That's a fantastic analogy. And I'm assuming that you've used that with your clients. I think
Oh
that's
no.
great.
As we were talking, I jotted it down. I'm like, ooh, that's good.
But yeah, yeah, and like the trick, the real trick is with with our client base and with people who are in their middle age is to actually just to be aware of what's happening,
Yep.
right? And we can see. We just have to look around when we walk around the street and we see a lot of obese people. The people are just not aware, right? They're
Yeah.
just not,
Or
and it's
or they're almost aware of the problem, but not aware of the solution. Because it's
yeah,
like
that's
they
probably better. That's probably
yeah.
yeah, that's much better. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because I think with especially the climate we're in right now, and with the medical system being what it is, like people are very hyper aware of the downsides of carrying excess body fat. So it's like everybody knows, but then it's like there's kind of this gray space of like, so what do I do about that? Do I go the drug route? Do I go this route that I saw on social media? Do I do this or that? And how do I know it's even going to work? And should I waste my time and money? And then you just kind of get stuck in paralysis by analysis.
That's true. No, I saw a meme a while back saying that your future doctor is using ChatGPT. So shape up or ship out.
Hey, I push back on that one because being that my fiance is a physician, I can tell you right now, luckily we have systems in place, so that's not an issue because you
Oh,
can't
okay. That was
you
just a meme then. I gotcha.
yes, because you like the doctors still have to pass what are called step 1, 2, and 3 to ensure that they know that, not just that they can look it up on the spot. So there's a lot that
My
needs to
bad.
still happen. Thank
My
God.
bad. I'll
Oh,
take
you're
that back
good.
then.
Oh, no, you're good. I like bringing stuff like that up because it does circulate. And I had a couple of other friends pass it on. And I'm like, hey, just so you know, we're good. Like, we don't have to worry about that.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But I still
And
don't have any faith in the medical profession.
oh, no, no. I mean, right now it is sick care. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
PCPs are getting better with identifying a lot of things and putting people in the right places. But at the end of the day, the system is pretty rough and we got to improve it. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. But we're getting off topic. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. No, and now the big thing that I had is like the grand topic I wanted to cover is kind of like the evolution of all this, like how we're talking about we go through the stages of life where things change and everything. And I know you had a big move recently, and I'd love to kind of just talk about the things that come up in your life or in clients' lives and just how people adapt in a positive way so that they stay on track and get the results that they want and not fall too far behind.
That's a great question. Yeah. So I moved from acre and a half, 2,200 square foot home to a 900 square foot home with no yard. And I had my own gym, and now my gym is a laundry room. So, you know, I'm a big believer in making it work no matter the circumstances. So, I think there's a saying that says scarcity is the mother of invention. Did I get that right?
Mhm. Or like
So,
the topic of like one of the best things for creativity is boundaries because then
yeah.
you have some sort of a direction.
And to make more of a sense of this for the people who are listening, so you go to a commercial gym and it's fully stocked, it's got everything, right? So you don't really have to worry about what you're going to have to do or finding ways to work around things or make it work. I have a couple of kettlebells. I have a rack of dumbbells up to 60, a TRX, and a few bands, right? And I just recently got a trap bar, right? I don't have any machines. I've never had any machines. And obviously machines are great. So this is not a knock on machines, but I've just had to find ways to make it work. So when it comes to the people listening out there, finding ways to make it work is usually time or lack of it, right? So we there's often a misconception in our industry that you need half an hour or an hour or whatever to work out because those people who are ripped on social media, that's what they must do, right? And that's just not right. Feeling that you need a certain amount of set time to work out, and that if you don't have half an hour in your day, then you're going to completely skip it, right? So that's, I mean, to me, you need to we just need to snap out of that mentality. And I'm all about finding solutions for time. It's like, I mean, the popular one that I use is just triceps, right? You squat, push, pull. It's 3 exercises. You run through them a few times. That's a full body workout. You're done in 15 minutes. Now, is it perfect? No, it's far from perfect. But is it better than nothing? Hell yes.
Is it effective?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So we often equate lots of equipment, having lots of all the time in the world, having all the energy into that's all we need to get results. And it just doesn't happen like that, particularly as we get older, because we just have a lot of time competition, right? You know, kids, family, wife, you name it. There's a lot of demands on our time, and we don't have separate energy for each of those. It all comes from our body. It all comes from us, and it's all a drain on our energy.
Yeah.
So yes, exercise is a stress. It's a eustress. We both know this, right? But adding more stress on top of it by worrying and doing bad things for your health when you could just do just a small thing, like I just said, like a tricep or a 10-minute walk. You just have to mold to your circumstances.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the big thing that gets missed in the fitness and exercise conversation is the fact that many people, you could assume the majority are not active enough and might be completely sedentary. Like only 23 to 24% of people meet the standards as far as enough strength training and enough aerobic exercise. So, what about that 76, 77%? Like, if you just do something, it's better than what you're currently doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for instance, I have an online client who I trained last night who signs in every Thursday. She's only got 15 minutes, right? And so all I get her to do is she chooses 2 exercises, I choose one, and we run through that a few times, and she gets a workout in. It's not perfect, right? It's far from perfect, but it
Mhm.
puts her in a better frame of mind, feels like she's done something, and then she moves forward with the rest of her night. So I think clients and people listening thinking that they need a set of perfect conditions to get healthy and fit, it just doesn't happen. You'd be waiting forever, right? We don't have perfect circumstances for anything that we do. So why should it be the same for health and fitness?
100%. And that's actually why, like, when people sign up with me the very first time, I ask them to promise to keep a solution mindset because this is exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking about. It's like you have two decisions. If something doesn't work, you either cross your arms and say, well, this sucks, I can't do it. Or you say, all right, well, that didn't work. What can we do that will? And the second is way more productive and a lot happier and a lot more healthy.
Yeah. It's not like um I mean the problem is important, right? The problems that the clients and the obstacles that we face are important. I think what you and I are trying to say here is not to overly focus on them,
Hmm.
right? They are there, they're not going away, right? And we can't smash through them, right?
Hmm.
It's just we all have the same 24 hours every day. Like you said, we've got to go for the solution focused mindset rather than the problem mindset.
Yeah. And I know one thing that I use a lot with talking with people on this where they say, I've got this going on, I've got that going on. It's like, cool. Those are your boundaries, those are your limitations. This is creating your sandbox. Now, what can we play in? Like, what are the
I
things that we
like that.
can do?
That's really clever. I like that. Yeah, yeah.
That one I have been using a little longer.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think analogies like that are a great way to explain to people our concepts, right?
Yeah.
Because we, being a being a fitness writer and being in that space, you still see a lot of coaches and trainers use jargon basically to sound smart and to say, "Hey, this is I'm pretty great. I'm using this fancy word," but it means nothing to the reader. In fact, it
Mhm.
loses the reader, and it's like you said with the analogy, it's just like we could get all fancy and explain it to them like that, but if you say a sandbox analogy, people can picture a sandbox,
Yeah. Because
right?
when we use jargon, it's kind of like it's an inside joke that they're not in on. And nobody likes that feeling.
Yeah. Well, there's the old saying that there's trainer talk and there's client talk,
Yeah.
right? And most of the time, we should be talking. We have client talk. Most even, in fact, I don't really like talking jargon even with trainers.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not the
honestly kind of boring.
Yeah, I no, no, I agree. I agree. And there's still that kind of meathead mentality,
Yeah.
meathead
But
about it.
we'll like bro out, but we're not going to talk about like the perfect lever arm or the optimal angles. We're just like, this feels good, doesn't it, man? And you're just like, yeah, it feels great.
Yeah, because like you said before, it's like 75% of the people don't meet the minimum standards for weight training. So when we and Andrew Coates has gone on about this before, when we make fitness elitist, everybody loses,
Yeah.
right? If it's some kind of special club that you think you need to belong into because you don't know the words or you don't know a particular exercise, big deal. It doesn't matter, right? So, I mean, we've got to be, as coaches and trainers, we've got to be less like that and just more inclusive with our language and with our attitude. Because what about those 70% of people who are sitting there confused and then analysis by paralysis, they're not being helped by that. These are the
Yeah.
people. These are the people we've got to reach. And even if they become clients or not, that's not the point. The point is, it's like like when one ship's rise, when the ocean rises, all ships rise. What's that?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what am I trying to say?
Rising tides raise all ships.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to talk about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've just gone around about it in an Australian way because I do everything backwards.
No
But
worries.
yeah,
But
we
I like what you're saying on that point because I think unfortunately a lot of trainers do get caught up in that and the client suffers because as a trainer you're like I want to be like the world's best trainer and for some reason in their heads that's like oh I need to be like the next Louis Simmons or I need to be the next Hani Rambod that are like these powerlifting bodybuilding coaches when in reality you would be so super successful and help the most people and be the most effective best trainer in the world if you tried to be the next Richard Simmons
right.
because he
Yeah,
helped more people than those other two combined.
that's true. Yeah. Oh, it's true. Yeah, and I think um so there's a gentleman called Tyler English who just recently shut down his gym. But I remember seeing I went to a fitness conference a long time ago, run by Pat Ridsby, and Tyler English was doing some metabolic training with the group, and just his level of enthusiasm when it came to doing the group exercise was amazing to me, and it really opened my eyes and just basically how to treat people, and not just only clients, is really just to be their cheerleader, like Richard Simers was, right? That cheerleader,
Yeah.
that enthusiastic attitude.
Somebody
Um,
who believed in you, didn't belittle you, and like lifted you up.
and I think even for the people listening and for clients, that means just having someone in your corner, right? And I know that in my experience, when I've had a client come on as a client, and the wife or the husband doesn't support them, it's always failed every single time, without fail. They've either hid it from them. Um, when they try and change their diet, the spouse is not on board, and then they just fall back into some bad habits easily, right? And you probably
Yeah.
had the same thing happen to you,
It's
right?
sad. It happens all the time.
Yeah. So if you're looking to make a change, I mean, not everybody has to support your change, and that's fine. But you got to stick around the people who go for it,
Hmm.
right? Go for it. And if you say that you don't want to drink tonight, you still want to go out with your friends, it's not like they'll go, okay, that's great. You can come out with us. You don't have to drink. It's like trying to, what am I trying to say? So trying to fall in with the crowd, so to speak, and the crowd doesn't want you to change. You, I mean, it's okay to keep those people around as friends, right? But you need more people in your life who support your change, like a cheerleader.
Yeah, for sure. Because it definitely lightens the load a little bit. And I think that's part of the reason people get stuck in that is because they're trying to reduce friction. And what's one of the easiest ways to reduce friction is like just say yes to everything or just cave in because then you don't have to fight it. You don't have to pull that willpower out, which is probably already spent already.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I read an interesting thing on willpower saying that I mean, rather than always testing it, is to build it. And then when you
Hmm.
build it and you build more of it, then when it's called upon, you have it in reserve. Because often we think of willpower as a muscle, and the muscle gets tired if we use it too much. And that is true. But it's like in the gym where instead of building strength, you're testing it all the time. You're doing it for 1 rep max all the time when you're in the gym, right? That doesn't really get you anywhere, right? So if you're testing your willpower all the time and having to rely on it, then of course it's going to fail,
Yeah.
right? So I think
Yeah.
the better strategy, and this is what I'm trying to do now, I'm not perfect, is rather than testing willpower, you build willpower.
Yeah. And I know like from people I've worked with that I've seen do the best, the most successful people, the people that have the best transformations, usually they almost never have to use their willpower because they are in a position where they make it as easy as possible on themselves. They create the environment to support it. And then when willpower is necessary, it's like, yeah, I could suck it up for today. But I already know my fridge is going to be stocked tomorrow. I already know that I'm going to have my gym bag packed. I already know I've got these things, these systems in place where it's like, it's just part of my life.
Right? I mean, I think particularly with the people who are listening, just realizing that you don't have to test your willpower all the time. You build it instead.
Yep. 100%. And I like also, I know the reason that we got to reconnect was when I put up the post with Sean Heisen, and he had a pretty good blurb about like how like doesn't really believe in discipline. It's more about desire. And it kind of all plays together where it's like, do you truly desire this thing more so than other things or enough to create these systems and build this willpower? And then it all kind of feeds into the same thing where we just create this storm of positivity and productivity.
Well, probably your listeners know who watch Sean Heisen. Sean Heisen is the shit, right? He's
I,
a
I
he's
have to
he's
agree.
he is a legend, and the fact that you got him on your podcast is a huge kudos to you.
Got to thank Andrew Coates on that one again too. So
Yeah,
once
yeah,
you guys are
Sean,
done watching, listening to this, and listening to the one with Sean Heisen, go check out Andrew's too. Lift Free and Diet Hard.
yeah. I don't really know if there's anybody who knows as much about actually being a trainer and being a writer than he does.
Yeah.
I really don't. I
Yeah,
really
he's that type of dude I love to talk to where it's like he can just shoot the shit and like be chill, but like if you ask the right question, he'll go. Like he'll just
yeah,
like go down the rabbit hole with you and it's a fun ride with people like that.
Sean. I mean, Sean. I mean, he's a person I look up to
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
incredible. And
Yeah,
I'm glad that he came into the conversation because one of the other points I had down that I wanted to talk about is I'm kind of noticing a trend where it's like the magazines have gotten like substantially better as far as like I know back when I was younger, like there would be these workouts in there that supposedly Ronnie Coleman did, supposedly Branch Warren did, but they're total BS and they never actually did the workouts. But now we're seeing this shift where it's like Men's Health, Muscle and Fitness are putting in these like solid, awesome workouts and these like great nutrition tips, and the magazines are like on an uptick. But it
Yeah,
seems like due to social media, most people's understanding is actually getting worse of exercise and nutrition. Have you noticed any of that?
that's a really good question. No, I haven't, but I'm not surprised, right? I'm not surprised by that because and and there is a lot of information. Um, yeah, but I mean, I still think with magazines and websites, there's still that celebrity culture a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and
Little gatekeeping.
I don't want to throw my employer under the bus by any means, but Muscle and Fitness is celebrity based,
Yeah.
and
I mean, that's what gets people to read.
yeah, everything's based around Olympia, which is coming up in a few days.
Yeah. Which
That's
I'm
their
looking
Super
forward
Bowl.
to. I'm
Yeah,
kind of excited. I can't
I
wait to see.
that's their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think the quality of the information is better, but I th I think we're just having I mean, like you said with social media, there's a disconnect between the two of what works and what is reality. Because we if we were getting a lot of our fitness and nutrition information off social media with these guys who are doing these workouts who have got 5% body fat, um, they don't do those workouts. That's for show, right?
Yeah.
They
It's usually so much more volume, so many more like reps and intensity frequencies that they just don't actually do.
so I think what you're trying to say is there's a disconnect between what we see and what we read,
Hmm. For
right?
sure.
And there really is. And I mean, I write a lot. I love writing workout articles. They're the shit, right? I love coming out with workouts. But when I write them, I've got to realize I've got to be able to do them too, right?
Hmm.
I think a lot of these people they write these workouts but can't do them, or the workouts that they do for show they don't really write about because it's boring. It's not entertaining, right? And we could this has been going on for a while, but most effective workouts are really, I mean, John Goodman goes on about this all the time, are boring,
Yeah.
right?
Same shit, different shirt.
Right. I call it the same but different. Like basically, I'm a Dan John guy. I squat, I push, I pull, I hinge, I carry.
Yeah.
Some kind of variations of all, and it's boring.
Yeah. And I got to agree. I'm very similar. I'm very much a climbing the ladder type where it's like, hey, let's start with the goblet squat. Once you're good with that, we're going to move to like a unilateral, like single leg variation. And once you get good at that, we're going to challenge the stability component. And it's just kind of the same movements, just harder and harder and harder as you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that with going back to your question, it is a disconnect from what we see and what we read. Yes, the information is good that people are reading. And I mean, I like to think that I produce good information when I write. And I pretty much, if I get up and I do a video on exercise, I pretty much do what I write. So, but I think there are a few people who don't do that, and people just get the wrong idea from what they see to what they read, and there's that disconnect,
Yeah.
right?
And I kind of understand to a degree because it's like you want people to pick it up, you want people to read it. And it's like how people go about that is so different. You see it in marketing all the time too, where it's like this special, super awesome program. And then they'll hype it up like it's the greatest thing in the world. And then they put good information in, but then there's like that 10 to 20% bullshit where we're like, did you have to do that?
Yeah. And going back to Sean Hyson is great. He's just the total opposite of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he
Yeah,
100% is.
right.
Because
He walks the walk and he talks the talk, and he's just one of the few guys, along with Lee Boyce. He's one of the guy who walks the walk, talk to him.
Lee's awesome.
Those are the guys who you really want to get your information from, right? If you're looking from getting the information from your social media, guys like that who walk the walk and talk the talk at the same time, right? They don't have a disconnect, right?
Yep. And there is an interesting, because I know, like, to kind of circle back to the doctors, like I notice it in like a personality type where it's like if you ever do meet these guys at conferences or like get to chat one-on-one like I am on the podcast, they're cool dudes for the most part. Like they're really easy to talk to. And it's kind of like that with like doctors that I meet through my fiance. I'm like, these are cool people. And it just so happens that they're top of their game. They're some of the best and most respected in the facility. And the people that are a little standoffish, the people that are a little quiet or do things that you question, like it's kind of a personality issue that guides the learning, it seems like.
That's a good point. It
So
does.
you can almost kind of tell that, like the listener right now, if you're listening and you're searching for a personal trainer, like kind of go by their personality a little bit. It might tell you a little something about how they operate and how they seek out information and how they could best serve you.
That's true. That's true. Because knowledge is great, right? And we see coaches who get certifications out the wazoo and know a lot, but the power isn't in the acquiring; it's the doing.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same with people who struggle with their health and fitness. They know what to do. We all know what to do, dude. Right? We know we have to. We know we have to eat like an adult. We know we have to, you know, lift weights a few times. We can go for a walk and be a little bit more active. Right? It's not rocket science.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The trouble is the doing, not the knowing. Right?
Yep. And another big factor too, I think, is also the ego component, because then you can teach your clients on how to challenge their thoughts. Because so many times we get stuck in the things that we know, like we think we believe and we think are true. And we can't ever sit back and challenge it and be like, is that true? And it takes a lot of humility to do that. And if you are a
Change your mind,
standoffish,
yeah.
what's that?
Yeah, to change one's mind, yes, it does.
Yes, because if you operate in a way that has zero humility, your ego kind of drives the bus, it makes it impossible to connect with people and help them on a human to human level.
Well, that's true. And there's something that's a little off topic, but goes along with what we're saying. I see a lot on social media today that people get on there and they make these posts about a certain thing, and they expect everybody to get on and agree with them, right? And the moment that somebody disagrees with them, their whole nose gets put out of joint, right? Because they believe they're right and whatever the other person's saying is wrong. Being able to sit with two things at once, conflicting things, and be good with both of them, it's hard to do, right?
Yeah, it's
Right?
very hard. I know the first time I heard, two things can be true at the same time, right? And it was like a mind blowing experience. I'm like, oh crap, this is going to require so much more mental effort to like understand a situation.
And put it in better terms for our listeners. So, if they're trying to improve their health and fitness, it's okay to go out and have a few beers. It's okay to go have a hamburger, right? Don't have to be perfect, right? It's, it's just consistent, right?
Yep.
We can talk about consistency as the secret sauce until we're blue in the face, but it really is, right? Even if you've only got 5 minutes to do something, 5 minutes, do it. It's better than nothing, right? We just adapting to our circumstances and just doing what we can on any given day. I mean, for most part, I have all the time in the world to exercise, but even now, I still struggle to find the time and the motivation to do it. But just show a little bit of self compassion and just do something, even if it's just going for a walk, right?
Yeah.
Um, So consistency is the secret sauce.
Absolutely.
I know
Absolutely.
that's not it's not shattering news, but it really does help, right?
Yeah. As you said that with the it's okay to have a beer, made me think of I had Mike Dola on the podcast. He might have I got to get him back for part 2 now that
Oh
I
yeah,
said it.
he's going to be a two-timer.
He's in retirement. I got to get his ass off the couch.
Yeah,
But Mike has a great quote. He's like, "Yeah, everybody talks shit on alcohol nowadays, but how many of you met your spouse when you're out at a bar?" It's like there's a trade-off because if that spouse that you met after a few beers has made your life substantially better, has relieved some stress and taken a load off of your shoulders by being that awesome partner in life, is that not worth a couple of beers?
that's a good point. Yeah, he's a smart guy.
He is. He is. He
Yeah,
says these things and you're like, "Damn you."
yeah, but no, and you're right. Um, so yeah, it's just it really is not about being perfect, but being consistent.
Yeah. And I like framing it in a way with clients too. It's like, let's just figure out what you can get away with. Like, let's figure out what you need to do to get the results and then have fun with the rest of that space.
Yeah, yeah, we're human. We have to give ourselves a little. We have to give ourselves a little wiggle room,
Yeah.
right?
Cause I think back to your point about like how we all go through those phases in life, I think it is human to not self destruct, but like kind of put your body on the back burner to have that short term hit of like, this is fun. Like, I am enjoying what I'm doing in the moment.
Yeah,
And I think mentally that's healthy. Maybe not physically, but mentally, I think it is.
yeah. I think you're right, and you know that is okay, right? I mean, for those who are listening who are struggling, having periods with your struggle are completely okay. I often tell parents when their kids are misbehaving, is that it's just a phase, and that phase will end. And it's the same with our health and fitness, right? And it's the same with our consistency. It's just a phase we're going through. It's going to end. Doesn't last forever. I'll ride it out. I'll go through the other side, right? Because there's something I've been thinking about before I came on your podcast is that we don't often get good at something right off the bat, right? I've been training for 15 years and I've been writing for 10. I mean, I didn't start getting paid to write until like 5 years ago. I mean, I wrote for 5 years before I got paid, and I wasn't very good at it. And then I got good enough to get paid for it. And uh, for our listeners here, it's the same for your health and fitness. You can't expect to be good at it straight away, or even 3, 4, 5 years down the track. You can't expect to be perfect. Can't expect to be good at it, right? But if you stick with it over the long haul, you'll find what works and what doesn't,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you got to you become your own expert, so to speak, when it comes to health and fitness, and you can't become your own expert in 2 years and go, oh well, I haven't got my six pack yet, and da, 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 da. So that's okay, right? It really does take a long time to get good at something, and again, social media gives you the wrong impression with that, right? Because
Hmm.
we see these people who look great and they've done it in 6 weeks, right? It's just, I mean, again, it's not reality, right? And who knows if they're telling the truth or not? They're just on a video, they're just on a screen, right? So the overarching message to our listeners is just take the time to get good at it, right? And just expect that you're going to trip up, right?
Yeah.
And expect that you're going to treat your body like shit, and just expect that you're going to have periods in your life when you drink too much and where you eat pizza every second night. It's going to happen, but it's just a phase. You'll get better at it, right? And you'll come through the other side.
Yeah. Very well put. And now I'm struggling to think of there was a strength coach that basically gave the scale of like everybody starts shitty, then you go from shit to suck, then you go from suck to doing okay, then you're good, then you're great. I'm
It's true. And it's
I'm
kind of like
struck.
this.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like physical
It's not like this.
therapy. Yeah, no, it's like physical therapy when you have an injury and it's like we're good, back down to pain, good, back down to pain, and you're just trending upward, but it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, yes. I am. I'm familiar with that physical therapist analogy.
Yeah, I love referring to PT because everybody's like, especially in the 40 plus community, it's like, oh yeah, been there.
Yeah. Oh God, yes. Yeah.
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 But the
Same
other
with
thing I
me.
wanted to touch on too that I'm glad you brought up is the fact that we do take this stuff for granted because for some odd reason, and I shouldn't say some odd reason, because for the longest time, like nobody has really had to really focus on what they eat and how much they exercise like 100 years ago. That wasn't a concern because people worked their asses off and it wasn't, oh, I'm getting too fat. It's, do I have enough food to eat? And now
Yeah.
we're on the flip side of the coin, navigating an environment that we've never had to before. And it requires learning skills that our parents, our grandparents, their grandparents did not need to know. So there's no
Right. That's true.
generational knowledge here.
And that's why, what I said before, it just takes time to get good at it because
Yeah.
we're not built that way,
Nope.
right? We
Nope.
don't. As you're right. We just don't have. We've never lived in an environment like this before. We're not a caveman running around having to hunt for our food, right? Just go to
Yeah.
the grocery store, right? Shove it in our mouths. Let's go,
Yeah.
right?
Give me some
That brings up
DoorDash.
an excellent point, Brian. That's an excellent point.
I appreciate that because it is one of those things where not only that we have that going on, and we also have all this money, all this marketing being thrown in our faces 24/7 to keep us hungry and thirsty and want these things more so than we do. So we're kind of at like a peak of like, wow, we are screwed if we don't figure it out because trying to do it on our own is a recipe for disaster, which is basically the obesity epidemic in a nutshell.
Yeah, right. That's true. Man, that's excellent. Good point, Brian.
You just caught me at the peak of my caffeinated state, Shane. So you just caught me at a really good time. All the
Oh,
systems are firing.
likewise. I think I've had 64 ounces of coffee this morning, so I'm good, baby.
There we go. I'm on Celsius number 2 after I just did a podcast on how to naturally boost your energy. I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite, but that's because the sleep is lacking. It's not that I don't know what's going on.
Oh, no, you're all right, mate. All right.
Yeah. But
We
to our
just like
point,
we said before, we don't have to be perfect, right?
we go through seasons. This stuff happens. Sometimes we're a little low on sleep and we need to caffeinate a little bit, but doesn't mean we just ride that and do it forever thinking we're never going to have consequences. It means, okay, this is something I'm acknowledging and we need to fix that going forward. So I'm going to bank sleep. I'm going to do the things that need to be done and adjust the schedule in a better way, but we don't just let it sit there on the back burner until it starts burning.
Oh,
Damn these analogies. I'm
write
on
that one down,
fire.
baby. Let's go.
I'm on fire today. Got to write them all down.
Okay, so hopefully the people who are listening have just got a pen and paper and just writing all this stuff down. I'm going to rewatch this podcast and just go, God, this guy sounds smart. Who is this guy?
And I'll do the same with everything you're saying. I'm like, I already got all these notes right here. So as long as we're on the same page. Oh my God. Pun intended. You know what? Screw it. We'll take that pun. But on that note, there's been so much good stuff. I'm like, I just want to make sure everybody can digest it all at this point.
Yeah.
So we'll put a lid on this. But before we do, thank you so much, Shane, for coming on. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I know you're a busy dude and you got a lot of projects going on, and I really appreciate the hell out of this.
Oh man, this has been great. This has been great. And it just, it helps when we have information that's clear, right? And
Yeah.
that's concise and is not confusing. And that's really our goal of talking is to just to make people better.
Yeah. Well, that's a sign of a good writer, right? Everybody digests the information and puts it to use.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I
And
hope so.
if people want to catch your stuff, where can they find you?
Oh, so I'm on muscleandfitness.com. I'm pretty much there all the time. I have a blog, balanceguytraining.com, where I publish a blog post once a week. I'm on Instagram and YouTube on Outback Performance. And of course, I'm on Facebook as well, which is Shane McClean. I'm almost everywhere, right? But nowhere at the same time. I just kidding.
I mean, that's a pretty accurate description, right? That's where we all are mentally, at least.
Yeah.
But I'll be sure to put all of that down in the show notes, in the description, wherever you're
Thank
watching
you.
or listening. So if you heard Shane say something that really resonated and you're like, I want to check this out, go ahead, click away. You will not regret it at all.
And I say it with a cool Australian accent too. Just remember that.
Yep. Remember, the accent has power here, people. Now, as a thank you to Shane, and like if you at any point heard something during this show where you're like, wow, that really hit, and you had that one person in your life in your head, like they need to hear this, go and send it their way. They'll be thankful you did, and so will we. All right. And thank you to the listener for making it all the way through. Appreciate you sticking around to the end. But until next time, I'll see you later, but go kick some ass in the meantime. Bye-bye.
See you later.